All right, let's talk about Township. Now, this is a game that I've been playing for coming up on 4 years. My wife has been playing it for a couple more years than that. I used to watch my wife play this game. I used to enjoy just seeing the improvements she did. Now, I started playing this game because it was a nice little wind down game after you come home from work. I found. I'm not a teenager, I'm in my 50s, and I just wanted something that was something you didn't have to think too hard about. It was a little bit of a challenge and enjoyable to play. Now, I'm a person who likes old games like Civilization, the original Civilizations. I like Civilization 4 and Age of Empire, things like that. So it's a world building game, and that's what I liked about this because I class this Township as a world building game. So when I first started, my wife had already started grumbling about the unfairness of what they've done, particularly how they used to expand the zoo compared to how they do it now. So that's I joined after that, so I didn't know much about that. I do know that I used to watch her make up plates for customers with different, like sausages and eggs and make pancakes and this in the zoo. And through that, you could get the coin or whatever you needed to build the enclosures. That was later deleted, and only through your end game township where you got enough coin, and through that you can get the animals once you got the enclosure and started, doing the task that the zoo required. So that's when I sort of joined about 4 years ago. Now, I've noticed a lot of things have changed in that 4 years, and particularly in the last 2 years, I've seen a sharp decline in the enjoyability of the game. In the Wikipedia article, they only go to about 2021, and it's all positive reviews, of course. But from about 2022 onwards, I started to see things go in a negative direction as far as Township is concerned. I get very quickly bored with games, but this is one of the games that has captured me for a long, long time. Because it is a slow world building game, it keeps you involved. Plus, what I liked back in the day when they called it Professor's Experiments is that the reward you got from the Professor's Experiments were pretty unique. So once that Professor's Experiments came to an end, those rewards weren't available anymore. So only the people who completed that Professor's Experiment, bought the golden ticket, got the certain elements for your town that nobody else could get. So my wife has got certain things in her towns that are pretty unique and I can't get. I've got certain things in my town because I've taken part in many so-called professors' experiments. So I've got decorations and things in my town that the people today won't be able to get anymore. So that's a slow decline that I've seen, that now when you do this golden ticket, there is no real reward at the end. You put in a lot of effort to get these tasks done, and most of the time if you're really dedicated, let's say you pay the money for the golden ticket, which is pointless now because you're getting nothing in return that is worth the golden ticket price. There is no ornaments. All it is things for the other games in the game. So like the adventure game, so you get power-ups for the match game that then supplies energy for the adventure game. Now, there used to be more than just the adventure game. We used to have, every time there was something different, which is also what made the game enjoyable. So you had the roller coaster one, you had the plane flying that you needed to get power-ups and catch certain things and miss things, the skiing thing. Later on, there was, I think, the sheep running across thing that was there for a short time, but there were a multitude of different games. And then all over a sudden, it became just the match 3 game and the adventure game, swapping between the two. And now it's just the adventure game and nothing else. But even the reward at the end of the adventure game now, compared to what we used to get, now there's no real reward. I mean, a town sign, that's all you're going to get now? That's not really a reward for me. I want a little bit more than a town sign. Okay, yeah, it's unique, and other people won't be able to get it. I'm wondering where you get that, but just a town sign. You used to get entire buildings And depending on how you completed the adventure game is that how elaborate that building was. So you got to the first stage and you got the building, but if you completed all the subtasks in the adventure game, then the building became more, elaborate with different things attached to it. So most of the time you can make it at least to that first stage. What I've found now too is when it was the professor experiment, even if you didn't buy the golden ticket, you could finish the game. You could finish the experiment all the way to the end. Yeah, you might not get the the big reward and the ornament at the end because you needed a golden ticket for that, but at least you could get to the end, where it was usually a town expansion or something that was worth the effort of doing it. But if you saw that there was an ornament that you really wanted, then I remember when they did the Mars themed Professor's Experiment, which is one of many that I actually bought the golden ticket for, because being something of a space junkie myself, I decided, yeah, I want that. I want those decorations in my town. So you pay the money and you played it all the way to the end, and you got all the bits and pieces at the end that you wanted for your town. Now you'll be lucky to be able to finish the Professor's Experiment even if you do buy the golden ticket. And the last one I bought, and it will be the last one I bought, the tasks were always the same tasks throughout the game. And they were all to do with the mini game, and they were all to do with the amount of energy you could either had to collect or had to use. Those were the only tasks. Use energy, gain energy. Those are the only tasks from beginning to end for me in that Professor's Experiment or golden ticket. And I had bought the golden ticket at that time because there was something at the end of the game that I wanted. That made it almost impossible for me to finish it. I managed to do it on the last day. On the last day, I just managed to get to the end, and that was the last time I ever bought a golden ticket. I said, if this is what they're going to do, where you have to pay more in order to ensure that you make it to the end, then why am I buying a golden ticket? Why am I spending money? And now, why are you spending money if you're getting nothing unique back for it? If all you're getting power-ups for the mini game or power-ups for the Connect game, then sorry, that's not worth the money of a golden ticket. You need to give me something unique. You need to give me a reward, not the same old, same old. And these are the complaints that I'm seeing through Facebook. So on that subject of things that haven't been coming our way recently, you got a nice little island sitting there just offshore. You used to be able to get skins for those. You take part in the Professor's Experiment, and if you reach the end, you could have a themed skin for that island. When's the last time we've had that opportunity? Now, it's got a tag there that take part in an event to unlock new skins and outfits. What event is going to give us those? Because we're not getting any of such rewards in the Professor's Experiment anymore. Is it safe to say that that island, if you haven't got any other skins for it, like I don't, that means that that island's going to stay as it is from now on, because they're not giving us any new ones? So what else is there in the game that we've overlooked, haven't thought about, that is now obsolete? Basically, that island is now obsolete. The zoo, that hasn't been expanded anymore. Everything else in the game, but that hasn't. And the zoo used to be one of those things that if you couldn't do anything in your town, you sort of went to your zoo and see what you can do there. But the enclosures are becoming more and more expensive and almost unachievable for the amount of coin that you're making in the game now. So somebody who's just starting off recently, good luck getting all of the enclosures. On the level 86 game I haven't got all the enclosures for the zoo, because quite frankly, I need those coins to still expand my game. So that means I can't expand the zoo. Now there is another aspect to the game that has gone by the wayside, and yet you probably haven't thought about for quite some time. Now, if you go to your game and you go to where your profile is, so you got three tabs there. You got your profile tab, you got your achievement tab, and you got a tab called redesigns. Remember all those makeovers you used to do? Well, that's where they reside. Tap on one. All right, tap on one you did. So now it has to be downloaded onto your device, and it'll take a while to download that. Now, don't be surprised if that tab one day disappears and all those makeovers you did will be gone. All the effort you put into doing those makeovers will disappear. I can guarantee you that's what's going to happen, because on my game that I've just started, it's got new locations coming soon. Yeah? When's the last time we've had one? When is the last time we did a makeover? You just go to your game, check that out. See if you still got them. I know in my game where I'm level 86, I tapped on that and it had to download it, and it took quite a while to download each one. So see if you still got them, because that's another thing that I believe in. One update, all of a sudden that's going to be gone, and you're not going to notice it for a while. And then one day you're going to wake up and say, hey, where are those redesigns? And they'll be gone. They'll delete them. I can guarantee it. And that all that Tcash and all that effort and all the resources you used to do those makeovers will be lost. So that's another thing that I'm keeping an eye on in Township, because everything is slowly disappearing. So they'll start with taking the rewards away, but soon they'll start with taking away, like they did in the original game, with what you used to do in the zoo and all the factories and shops you had built there to do that. All over a sudden, they were turned into ornaments, even though you had to work very hard to create those. So I'd be, over the next year or so, I'll keep an eye on what changes they are making in Township. Now the regatta has changed too, because what I've noticed with the regatta is you're not allowed, or you can't see what the rewards are unless you activate that you're taking part in a regatta. Now you used to be able to have a look first, see what the rewards are, and say, yeah, I'll take part in this regatta, or no, I'm not really interested in that, I won't take part in this regatta. But now you can't have a sneak peek or have a look at what the rewards are. No, you have to do the regatta before you even get to see what the rewards are. And I think that's a bit off as far as I'm concerned. That is forcing people to do something they don't want to do. And that's one thing that'll get me to delete the game, is if I have to do something I do not want to do. I already find it annoying whenever a new adventure game starts, that you have to go there. You have to go through the first little tutorial bit. I hate that, especially if you're logging into the game to quickly send off a plane because its time is running out, and I've had a plane disappear on me because this bloody game tells me I have to go there first, except what I want to play. And it's little issues like that that will get me deleting a game, and it's becoming very close. The only reason why I haven't deleted the game, and why I started a new one just as an experiment, but my initial game, is because I've put so much effort in it to make that town look the way it does so far. But that too has its limits. I mean, there have been an entire week where I've just abandoned the game just for me to do something else, because it's no longer that enjoyable. It is forcing you to do things that you didn't download the game for. You want Township, not the adventure game, not the regatta, not the mining. You want Township. You want to play Township. Yeah, you can do those other things as well as a side quest. Playrex seems to think that the side quests are more important than Township itself, and we who play Township disagree. Alright, so let's see what Wikipedia has to say about Township. Township was launched in 2011 as a freemium social game on Google+, and later it was adopted for Facebook. After redesigning, it was also launched on smartphones and became the first mobile game for the developer Playrex. It was released for ISO in 2012 and Android in 2013. During the first 6 years, the developers implemented more than 60 updates. For example, they completely changed the in-game graphics in 2015. In addition, the number of levels increased from a maximum of 38 to 90. November 2019, the developers launched an in-game analog of the season pass called Professor's Experiment, which resulted in a one-time 22% increase in sales. Now that's the first paragraph. The in-game graphics was updated in 2015, and what I've noticed is in 2023 the in-game graphics were taking a step back, and I'm pretty sure you've all noticed that too if you've been playing long enough, where the grass is no longer as vibrant as it used to look in the game, along with a number of other things started to look a bit more cartoony rather than realistic. Since 2015 they've actually taken a step back in the in-game graphics. Anyway, the article goes on. By 2016, the mobile game had over 1 million daily active users in China alone. The number of daily users worldwide exceeded 3.5 million in 2020. The audience was divided roughly equally between ISO and Android devices. By 2021, the game was downloaded more than 248 million times. How many of those were deleted promptly afterwards? The developer's profit, excluding the sale commission, was more than 849 million. Together with Klondike Adventures by Visor, Township makes up 40% of addressable tycoon market. Township has received mostly positive customer and critic reviews. Since 2013, Township, as well as the other Playrex games, had consistently been rated as one of the top 15 or top 50 grossing charts in more than 50 countries worldwide. Township was named one of the best Mac games of the year in 2014. Additionally, the game has been listed multiple times in the top 50 grossing games for iPad and in the top 100 on iPhone. So as you can see, this article is a bit outdated because nothing really positive or anything at all has been listed from 2021 onwards. And in the last 3 years particularly, things have gone backwards as far as the customers and the comments left on the internet and chat sites. The only criticism that is listed here in Wikipedia is Township, as with other games made by Playrex, such as Homescape and Gardenscape New Acres, has been criticized for advertisements displaying misleading images and scenes that are not related to or otherwise misrepresent the core gameplay. And then it goes on like it's still the same article, but this is a totally different subject. However, according to the Australian Council of Children and the Media, no advertising and product placement was found inside the game itself. Now, that is not entirely true, because we used to. When you go to do helicopter tasks, you used to get like the video guide where you watched an advert of a game, and while watching the complete advert of that game you got like T-Cash. That was an ad. So there were ads in Township at that time. That has since been removed as far as I can tell. I would definitely add to that article or edit that article and put some of the criticisms in place that have been recently come to light. And you just need to go to Facebook groups to have a look what some of those complaints are. And that's what we're going to do now. So let's go to Facebook now and let's see what some of the people are saying about Township and how some of the people are feeling. And that looks like that is becoming more and more negative responses to Township I'm seeing now. And it's because of that. It's because the quality of the game has gone backwards. The rewards are basically now non-existent. Now, the bulk of the complaints that I've seen on Facebook now is all to do with the lack of rewards and the things they've taken away from us, the things that they no longer put in the games. It's the same adventure game over and over and over again. The fact that we're not getting any ornaments anymore. Like at the Christmas time, Easter time, and like Halloween, there used to be ornaments for sale that you could buy to put in your town. They've taken that away. I have been unable to buy any new ornaments to decorate my town during these festive seasons. Like the new game I started a couple of weeks ago, I couldn't buy any Christmas stuff. There was no Christmas stuff to be had. Now that's disappointing, because what I do is I decorate the front of my town where the sign is as to what season it is. So during Christmas time I make it up with all my Christmas decorations. Then after Christmas I take the Christmas decorations away, but I leave all the ice decorations up there until that season comes to an end. Then I'll put the Easter decorations in that area. Later on in the years to Halloween, and then back to Christmas again. And the rest of the time I put all my space stuff. Got skins for my train station and airport and my helicopter base that are all space-like, and I got a lot of space decorations because I've done the regattas to get the space decorations, and I've done the professor's experiments to get those decorations. So that's what I use on how to make my town unique when people first come to have a look at it. That's what made Township enjoyable to play, because you could make it truly your own. Now, if you've ever played Klondike, that is almost unplayable. Well, it is unplayable. I think I played it for 3 days and decided that that's not for me, because there's nothing original in there, and all your buildings and everything is just packed on top of each other because you got nowhere else to put them. And that's slowly what Township is becoming. Township is slowly going the same way as Klondike, where they've added so many factories in the last couple of years and so many new even community buildings and special buildings, but they haven't given us the expansions, particularly you people who've expanded to the max. You can't expand anymore to put those factories down in an area that is suitable. Now it's it's just all becoming so cluttered that all those decorations you bought over the years, you have to now remove from your town just to put a factory in place. Now, these are all the things that you've paid for. You've really worked hard for to make your town unique, and now you can't use those anymore because you need the room to put this factory down so you can still do the regattas and things like that and the tasks that come with. So this is slowly where the game is going, where it's every town will end up looking the same because you can't put anything unique in anymore because they don't give you the room to do that. On both my townships I'm still expanding, but what I've found compared to my wife started playing a number of years before me, so she has millions of coin. Now, for people who started the same time I did, coin is always an issue. You're always looking for ways to do a coin. You're growing stuff and selling stuff to get your coin up so you can make buildings, so you can do your expansion. The T-cash, I've done things to get my T-cash up, but it's always the coin that are holding me up to do the expansions. Also, with like your barn, upgrading your barn. And the mining in particular, over the last couple of years, you haven't been able to get the mining equipment to do the mining. So when those mine tasks come up, like ruler in a mine, you can't do it because you don't have the mining equipment to do it. Plus, the ruler in a mine is half the T-cash you can get at the end. It used to be 200 T-cash, which was worth collecting all your mining equipment for and getting all that. But now you need just about twice as much mining equipment to get to the end to get your 100 T-cash. Plus a whole lot of power-ups for the other games that's not why you're playing this. You're playing Township. I'm not playing an adventure game. I'm playing Township. I want to expand my town. I'm not interested in the other games like the adventure game unless they got a reward that makes my town unique, which they no longer have. So I no longer... In my young game, the one I've been playing a couple of weeks now, I do the adventure game because it gives me coin and experience, which helps me level up quicker. But on the one where I'm at level 86, that is no longer sufficient enough to let me power up, or the effort I put in is not really, the amount of money you get out of it's insignificant when you're at level 86 or higher, and the rewards are non-existent. On my township, which is at 86, I don't play the other games because there is nothing in it for me. Same as the regatta. What's the point of doing a regatta? Once you're at that level, if you're in a co-op that's got a reasonable amount of people, that's okay. But if you're in a co-op that's either by yourself or 2 or 3 people, it's almost impossible if you're at a higher level win the regatta because you are pitted up against people who are racing with 5 helpers. It's not regulated anymore. It used to be if you were in the regatta and you were up against a co-op with 2 people or 3 people, they were all bunched into the same race. So you're not racing against a co-op with 20 frickin' people in it when you're only on your own, where now everything is chucked into one pile and good luck to you. So what's even the point? So these are some of the complaints I've seen online, and definitely some of the complaints that I've find with the game myself. And it looks like that Playrex is not interested in the complaints, and it is the same complaints over and over I'm seeing everywhere at the moment, is the fact that they've taken all the rewards away. And Playrex is like I put a negative review after a few years. I changed my review from a positive to a negative, and the answer I got was, we've taken your review into consideration and we'll do our best to implement positive changes. Well, they've done the opposite. They've done nothing but negative updates since I've given them a downgrade. And I see more. I've seen the stars slowly move. Where it used to be a 5-star game, it's slowly starting to reduce as people are just not interested anymore. So that's my take on Township and where it's going, and I can see a lot of you are in agreement that you are fed up with all the effort you've put in now being thrown by the wayside and things being taken away from the game, which is making the game either unplayable or unenjoyable. So it used to be that I went on a game every day religiously, and you used to get rewards for that too, and all over a sudden, why am I playing this every day? There are better things I could be doing with my life. Even if I'm sitting there, I just pick a book now and read that like we used to do. And that's much more enjoyable than trying to struggle through a game that's actively working against you. Alright, this is Yesterman Games. Stay safe. Till next time.
Wouldn't you prefer a good game of chess?